Good morning everyone, how are you today? I hope that all of you are good. Welcome to our debate. My name is Reinhard Manik. As a closing opposition, I stand firmly against today's motion that exams are the best way to assess students. In today's debate, the government team has argued that exams are objective, efficient, and a fair tool to measure students' understanding. However, we from the opposite side strongly believe that exams are not the best, and in many cases, they are one of the most limited and harmful ways to evaluate students' true ability. Let me show you some reasons why that exams are not the best way to assess students. The first one, understanding of nature of assessment. Education is not just about grades or numbers. It is about learning, understanding, and growing. Assessments should therefore be a process that helps students develop knowledge and skills, not something that punishes them for what they don't remember in a short period. Exams usually measure short-term memory, not deep understanding. They test how well a student can recall information under pressure, not how well they can apply it in real life. Let's imagine two students, one who memorizes the textbook perfectly but forget everything after the test, and another who understands the concept deeply but struggles with time limits. The first might score high, but does that really mean they learn better? The second test, exam creates stress, not learning. Research consistently shows that exam creates stress, fear, and anxiety among students. Instead of inspiring curiosity, they promote competition, burnout, and even mental health problems. Students often stay up all night not to learn but just to survive the exam. Some even resort to cheating not because they are dishonest but because the system pressures them to succeed at any cost. Education should be safe space for growth, not a battlefield to fear. If the goal of assessment is to encourage improvement, then exams clearly fail to achieve that goal. Thinks exams are not fair or inclusive. The government might say that exams are fair because every student answers the same question, but equality does not always mean fairness. Different students have different learning styles, background, and abilities. Some students are naturally good at memorizing, while others excel in practical skill, creativity, or collaboration. Exams often ignore these differences. In fact, students who face test anxiety, language barriers, or learning difficulties are at a clear disadvantage. Exam measure how students perform under pressure, not how much they truly know. So, how can something that ignores diversity be called the best way to assess students? The four things better alternative exist. Now, let's move beyond criticism and talk about solution. There are many alternative ways to assess students that are more effective and fair than exam. For example, project-based learning evaluates how students apply knowledge to real-world situations. And the second, portfolio shows consistent growth over time. The third, presentation and group work assess communication, teamwork, and problem-solving skills. And continuous assessment gives students multiple chances to improve rather than a single test that decide their fate. So these methods reflect real learning, not just temporary memorization. The fifth things The opposition extension. As the closing opposition, allow me to extend our argument with a new perspective. Exams are outdated in the modern education system. In the 21st century, education focuses on critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. But exams do not measure any of this effectively. Instead, they promote rote learning and passive knowledge recall. Technology has already changed how to learn and work. In the real world, no one is given a closed book test to solve problems. People are resourced, collaborate, and think critically. So why should education remain stuck in a system that rewards memorization over innovation? If exams were truly the best method, then why do the most successful companies and universities now value portfolios, interviews, and practical performance over written tests? Because they recognize that real intelligence cannot be measured by a single exam paper. The sixth thing, moral and educational impact. Furthermore, we must address the moral consequences of over-reliance on exam. Exam create toxic competition where students compare scores instead of helping each other. They also cause labeling. Students who fail are often considered less intelligent, even if they have talents in other areas like art, music, or leadership. This kind of system damages confidence, creativity, and motivation. In the long run, it produces graduates who can memorize but cannot innovate, and that is dangerous for any nation that wants to progress. So, as the closing opposition, I give you conclusion. The first one, exams only test memory, not understanding. The second thing, exam cause stress and anxiety. The third thing, exams are unfair to diverse learners. The fourth thing, there are better, more holistic assessment methods. Exams are outdated and misaligned with modern education goals. Therefore, we, the closing opposition, strongly believe that exams are not the best way to assess students. Yes, exams may have a place in education, but they should be just one of many assessment tools, not the ultimate measure of learning. Let's us build an education system that values understanding over memorization, growth over grades, and learning over fear. Thank you.